Welcome to a new video of Cambridge IELTS reading. Our today's video is about the IELTS reading list of headings. In this video, I will tell you some tips and tricks related to the IELTS reading list of headings. Many of the students feel very difficulty in solving this part of the test. Some students used to read the paragraph first and then they go to the list of headings, and some students used to read the list of headings first and then they go to read the paragraphs. It depends upon the students that how they feel easiness in solving this part of this test. On the other hand, some teachers recommend to the students that they should read the first two lines or the last two lines of the paragraph, and in this way they can find the answer of the questions. But this technique doesn't work every time. I would not recommend you to do this because sometimes the answer may be in the center of the paragraph. So you should develop the ability of skimming and scanning the passage. By skimming and scanning, you can get the main idea of the paragraph, and then you can match that main idea with any of the heading in the list. On the other hand, you should learn the paraphrases and synonyms as many as you can, because by learning the synonyms and paraphrases, your IELTS test will become very easy. Don't stop on the difficult words. By stopping on the difficult words, you will lose your time and you will waste your time, and as you know that the whole IELTS reading test time is just 1 hour. So don't stop on the difficult words. Read the other words of the sentence which are quite easy for you. Just assess the meaning of that difficult word, and in this way you will understand the main idea of any sentence. And lastly, learn the vocabulary as much as you can, because IELTS test is the name of the vocabulary. The IELTS vocabulary not only work for you in the IELTS reading test, but it is very helpful for you in the IELTS listening, writing and speaking. Let's go to the test and try to solve the test. Let's go. In reading passage 3, there are 9 list of headings and we have 6 paragraphs. Question number 27, 28, 29, 30, 31 and 32. For the paragraph A, the list of heading number 8 is also chosen, so we can cross the heading number 8. Let's read the paragraph B. In paragraph B, for the Inuit, the problem is urgent. So first of all, we can see the title of the passage, and the title of the passage is climate change and the Inuit. Inuit is a tribe. The threat posed by climate change in the Arctic and the problems faced by Canada's Inuit people. So basically this passage is about the climate change and the tribe named Inuit. So let's start the paragraph B. For the Inuit, the problem is urgent, and the problem is changing weather conditions. They live in precarious balance with one of the toughest environments on the earth. Climate change, whatever it causes, is a direct threat to their way of life. Nobody knows the Arctic as well as the locals. So it means that the foreign or outside researchers and the locals did not know about the Arctic, which is why they are not content simply to stand back and let outside experts tell them what's happening. Which is why means because they means the Inuit tribe. They means the Inuit tribe, which is why they are not content. Content means ready. They are not ready to stand back and let outside experts tell them what is happening. It means that the tribe of Inuit was not ready to allow the outside experts to do any kind of research and tell them what is happening. So it is the opinion of the Inuit tribe that they were not allowing the outside experts to do any kind of research about the climate change. So we can say that it is the opinion of Inuit tribe about the foreign experts or outside experts. In Canada, where the Inuit people are jealously guarding their hard-won autonomy. Hard-won autonomy means the government which they have got after a lot of efforts. So the people of the Inuit were safeguarding their government which was got after a lot of efforts in the country's newest territory, Nunavut, and the area name is Nunavut, where they have set their new government, and the government was got after a lot of efforts. They believe their best hope of survival. They means the tribe of Inuit. They believe their best hope of survival in this changing environment lies. That they have the opinion that if they want to survive in this changing environment, in combining with ancestral knowledge with the best of modern science. And so we can say that the people of Inuit tribe believed that if they have to survive in the changing environment, they have to combine their parental knowledge or ancestral knowledge with the knowledge of science. So it is also the opinion of the tribe of Inuit about the changing environment. So let's find the heading. So we can see the reaction of the Inuit community to the climate change. Reaction means opinion. So we have got the answer for the paragraph B, and the answer is heading number 1. So we can write here 1. So I will tell you that how I did this. The reason is that nobody knows the Arctic as well as the locals. It means that the foreign or outside researchers and the local people did not know about the changing environment, which is why they are not content simply to stand back or let outside experts tell them what is happening. And that's why the local people did not allow the outside experts to do any kind of research about the climate change, that why this climate is changing. And the second thing is that they believe their best hope of survival in this changing environment. So we can say that the word believe is written for the word opinion, that it was the opinion of the local people about that they can survive in the changing environment if they combine their ancestral knowledge or parental knowledge with the best of modern science. So we can say that they were thinking that, or it is their opinion, that if they have to survive in the changing environment, they have to combine the parental knowledge with the best modern science. And the next paragraph, C. The Canadian Arctic is vast. The Canadian Arctic is vast, treeless, polar desert. So we have read that the Canadian Arctic is vast and there are no trees and it is a polar desert that is covered with snow for most of the year, and it is covered with snow for most of the time of the year. Venture into this terrain means area. If we go into this terrain and you get some idea of the hardships facing anyone who calls this home, the writer is saying that if anyone want to know about the hardships of this area, you can go there and you can witness the problems of the inhabitants who are calling this area their home. Farming is out of question. It means that nobody can do any kind of farming, and nature offers meager picking, and the people of that area can get some eatables through the nature which are offered by the nature. Humans first settled in Arctic a mere 4,500 years ago, surviving by exploiting sea mammals and fish. By exploiting means catching or hunting. So about 4,500 years ago, the people settled in the Arctic and they were surviving, or they were living by catching the sea mammals and fish. So in these 4 lines we have got the idea about the area of the Arctic region, that the area was vast, there were no trees, it is a polar desert, and most of the time the area is covered by the snow, and farming is out of question, and people used to get things through the nature. And 4,500 years ago, people used to catch sea mammals or fish as their food. So the basic idea is about the area of the Arctic region. So let's find the headings. Understanding of climate change remains limited. No. Understanding of climate change remains limited. No. Alternative source of essential supplies. No. Respect for Inuit opinion grows. No. A healthier choice of food. No. A difficult landscape. So we have found the heading number 6 for paragraph C, because in paragraph C it tells us about the area of the Arctic region. So we can write heading number 6, a difficult landscape, for the paragraph C. Let's read the paragraph D. Life for the descendants of the Tulu people is still harsh. Nunavut is 1.9 million square kilometers of rock and ice and a handful of islands around the North Pole. It is currently home of 2,500 people, all but a handful of them indigenous Inuit. Over the past 40 years, most have abandoned their nomadic ways and settled in the territories, 28 isolated communities, but they still rely heavily on nature to provide food and clothing. So in the first 4 lines we have got the idea that the Nunavut is an area of 1.9 million square kilometer, and this area consists of rock, ice and a few islands, and nowadays about 2,500 people are living there. Over the past 40 years, most of the people have left their old ways of living, and most of them have started living in 28 isolated areas, but they are relying for food and clothing on nature. So I'll read further. Provisions available in local shops. Provisions means stock of things. Provisions available in local shops have to be flown into the Nunavut on one of the most costly air networks in the world, are brought by supply ship during the few ice-free weeks of summer. It would cost a family around 7,000 pounds a year to replace meat they obtained themselves through hunting with imported meat. So we have got the idea that the provision means things, stock of things. The stock of things which was available in the local shops in the Nunavut, and these stocks of things were brought by air or brought by ship in the summer, and each family cost about 7,000 pound for the imported meat to replace the meat which they used to get by hunting. So the word replace is very important in these lines, that each family used to spend 7,000 pound for the imported meat, and this imported meat is actually the replacement of the meat which they used to get through hunting. So in these lines we have read about the food supplies. So we can cross the first list of heading, and then we can cross a difficult landscape also. Let's read others. Understanding of climate change remains limited. Alternative sources of essential supplies. So we can use the heading number 3 for paragraph D, because in paragraph D tells us about the food supplies, the alternative food supplies, and we have read in the paragraph D that it would cost a family around 7,000 a year to replace meat they obtained themselves through hunting with imported meat. So we have read that each family costs about 7,000 pound a year for the imported meat, and this imported meat is actually the replacement of the meat which they used to get by hunting. Let's read the paragraph D. So the paragraph E. While the Inuit may not actually starve if hunting and trapping are curtailed by climate. So writer want to say that the Inuit tribe may not be hungry if hunting was abandoned due to the climate change. There are certainly been an impact on people's health. The writer wants to state that the climate change has an effect on the people's health. Obesity, heart disease, and diabetes are beginning to appear. So these are the diseases from which the people used to suffer. So in the first 3 lines we have read about the health of the people. So let's try to find the heading for paragraph E, and for paragraph E, understanding of climate change remains limited. No. Respect for Inuit opinion grows. No. A healthier choice of food. No. Negative effect on well-being. Well-being means human health. That the bad climate had negative effects on the human health. So we can write heading number 5 for paragraph E. sorry, heading number 7 for paragraph E. Let's read the paragraph F. And the paragraph F. With so much at stake, the Inuit are determined to play a key role in teasing out the mysteries of climate change in the Arctic. Stake means risk. That although the people of Inuit tribe were at great risk, but they decided to find out the mysteries of climate change in the Arctic. Having survived there for centuries, they believe their wealth of traditional knowledge is vital to the task, and it was their belief that if they want to find out the mysteries of the climate change, they have to act upon their traditional knowledge. And the Western scientists are starting to draw on this wisdom, increasingly referred to as Inuit or IQ. In the early days, scientists ignored us when they came up here to study here. They just figured these people don't know very much, so we wouldn't ask them, says John Amagolic, an Inuit reader and politician. So it is the saying of an Inuit leader and politician, and his name was John Amagolic. He said that in the early times, when the outsider experts or scientists used to come here for research, they did not consult it with the local people. But in recent years, but is the very important word, but in recent years, IQ has had much more credibility and weight. In fact, it is now a requirement for anyone hoping to get permission to do research that they consult the communities. In fact, it is now means present, that nowadays a requirement for anyone means researcher, that nowadays it is the requirement for any researcher to get permission to do research that they consult the communities. So it means that nowadays any researcher who want to do any kind of research in the Arctic region, he has to consult with the communities, with the people of the local area. So it means that the opinion of the local area is now being taken by the outside experts who are helping to set the research agenda. Who means people of the local area who are helping to set the research agenda. It means that the Inuit tribe are now helping the outside researchers to set a research agenda to reflect their most important concerns, and in that research agenda the Inuit tribe represents their problems. So it means that in every matter nowadays the opinion of the Inuit tribe is asked. So let's find the answer of this question. So, understanding of climate change remains limited. Respect for Inuit opinion grows. Now it means that the opinion of Inuit tribe is asked in every matter. So for the paragraph F, we can use the heading number 4. Last paragraph G. Some scientists doubt the value of the traditional knowledge. It means that some of the scientists are doubtful about the knowledge of the Inuit tribe, because the occupation of Arctic does not go back far enough. Others, however, point out that the first weather station in the far north date back just 50 years. There are still huge gaps in the environmental knowledge. There are still huge gaps in our environmental knowledge. It means that our environmental knowledge is not complete yet. And despite the scientific onslaught means research, and although there are many scientific researches, many predictions are no more than best guesses. So in these lines we have got the idea that the scientists are doubtful about the knowledge of Inuit tribe, their traditional knowledge, and the second thing is that although many researches have been done, but still the environmental knowledge is not complete. So the understanding of climate change remains limited. So we have got the heading for the paragraph G, and for paragraph G the answer is 2, and the answer is understanding of climate change remains limited, and the reason is that because there are still huge gaps in our environmental knowledge, that our environmental knowledge is not complete.